Good afternoon, everyone. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. Thank you for watching this episode. We are going to talk about the housing market. We are going to take and resolve a lot of the questions that I have seen in the last 48 hours or so. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're a returning guest, thank you very much, or a returning watcher, thank you very much for the support. I'm going to steal the following from Mr. Graham Stephan and let you know that, yes, this video is sponsored by the thumbs up button. The thumbs up button wants you to push it. It is free. It wants you to support the channel. And of course, Graham does that intro a lot better than I do, but hey, I tried. Anyways, I want to talk to you about the housing market. I want to talk to you about the 50 years of research I've done in the housing market. I've published a couple of videos on it, but now I am getting responses. And I want to take a look at the kind of top 4 or 5. There are a lot of you that are emotionally charged when you look at the data. A lot of you have come back and pointed at this or that. So what I thought I would do is I would just tackle the 4 largest questions. We would break them down, no opinion, just look at the data. And really, this is all about the housing crash, when it's coming, how big it's going to be, and all of those things. So let me bring it up and we will address the questions together, because I think you will find, or at least you'll see how I appreciate the data. I don't know if you will like it or not, but it's just the story, right? So in the end, there is lots of talk about the real estate crash because prices are so high. And yes, as you will see momentarily, July 21 was ridiculously high. But at the end of the day, what I will do at the last slide of this deck is tell you how to beat the crash, which a lot of people ask for. So in short, let's get started. So the first thing I am hearing is rates are going to explode higher. If you're watching this channel, you know I am a believer that inflation is running hot. The last CPI we talked about was over 5%. We get the next CPI on Tuesday. Even if that's 4%, it is still double what the Fed is talking about. Lots of you have come back to me here recently and said, hey, Michael, rates are going to go up. The housing market's going to fall off a cliff. You can't help it. You know, get out of the way. You're in trouble. You're an idiot. You know, there's some really, really harsh things said in the YouTube world. But let's go ahead and look at the data. Just so you know, and again, I've published this report a couple of times now, and you can go back and watch the videos. They're usually titled 50 years of housing data. So let's talk about this whole rising rates crushing housing. So from 1977 to 1981, the 30-year mortgage went up 7.79%. Folks, that is not 7 basis points like they talk about in the media. That is 779 basis points. To the point it went from 8.85 to 16.64%. This one fact is the fact why I looked at housing and what would happen if rates went up. I did that video this morning. And again, rates would have to go to 10% today to make housing as unaffordable as 1981. Housing was unaffordable in 1981. If you haven't seen the report, it took 46% of your gross take-home pay to afford a mortgage of the average home. Not acceptable, way unaffordable. Today, we're at 19% by comparison. So, okay, rates went up 779 basis points or 7.79%. Housing had to fall, right? That's the argument. You guys are saying rates go up, housing falls. Well, what happened when rates went up 7.79%? Well, let's also not forget that rates went up 88% from 7.79 to 16.64 or whatever it was. That is an amazing 88% rise. That has to crush housing, right? It just has to. It has to. That's what everybody says. Well, housing went up 63%. I don't know about you, but housing going up 63% doesn't feel like a crash to me. Rates go from 8 to 16. Housing is supposed to crash. Sorry, you're wrong. Housing did not crash. In fact, housing had a pretty good run. It went up 63%. So again, folks, if you want to say rates are going up and housing is going to crash, the evidence doesn't support you. It just doesn't. Next, housing is unaffordable today, July 21. Housing is expensive today. Housing prices are nuts today. But if you watch this channel, you know it is simply not true. It is not unaffordable. In fact, affordability in housing, at least in 2020, was the best it has ever been. Now, 2021 July data got nutty. Median prices went up like 90 grand, and yeah, it got more expensive, but it didn't get unaffordable. Again, just to put a color, median price went from 270 at the end of 2020 to 363. That's a hell of a jump. That is not normal. That is wacky. But remember, that is price. That is not payment, and that is not unaffordability. So let's look at what happened. So in July of 2021, housing no longer takes 16%. It now takes 19.74% of gross monthly income. If memory serves, the average family of four now is taking home just about $79,000. That's likely two employees, mom and dad in this example. So mom and dad making 40K each, for example. So again, that is it. While prices are high and they are record highs, they are not unaffordable. In fact, with an affordability below 20%, housing is cheaper than any year between 1970 and 2010. Housing is cheaper in July of 21 than 40 years of the housing market. I don't know what to tell you. You can keep telling me prices are high, which they are, and in some markets, they are stupid. But as long as you have 30-year mortgage rates below 3%, they are simply not unaffordable. It's just not unaffordable. They're expensive, they're high priced, but they are not unaffordable. Wage growth leads to housing. Perhaps one of the biggest aha moments I took from my 50 years of research is when wages are up, housing is up. When wages are down, housing is down, and there's a little lag. This was an aha moment of aha moments. Again, it is that simple. If you can tell me the year that wages are up or the year that wages are down, I can tell you if housing is up or down the very next year. It is that simple. For example, from 1978 to 1979, wages went up an amazing, an astonishing 20.3%. Then from 1979 to 1981, housing went up 36.1%. Again, wages go up, the very next year, housing is going to start running. And again, what happened in 2020? Wages went up. I shared the data with you. They went up, I think, 14%. All right, well, what about the other way? Well, guess what? Wages do go down. The Great Recession was horrible. The Great Recession saw wages fall 7.9%. Yes, negative wages. Negative wage growth, 2006, 2007. Guess what happened the very next year? Housing started to fall and ultimately fell 22.3%. Folks, as long as wages are going up, and if you've been watching my channel, you know that I believe the bubbling, boil underneath what we're doing now is wage inflation. Wages go up, housing goes up. It is that simple with 50 years of data to look at. So what I want to tell you is if you're in the housing market today and you're doing the work, you're one of my students, only do great deals. You know that we talk about a buy box, daily execution. We talk about knowing average, then doing good or great. Only do great deals today. Second, make sure you get 30-year fixed rate money, because again, wages go up, housing goes up, then rent goes up. So you will get more cash flow going forward. Do yourself a favor, evaluate your debt picture, the term, because some of you could refi and actually shorten the term if you want to pay off debt sooner, and look at those cash flow numbers. Again, do not believe the talking heads. Rates go up, doesn't destroy housing. We have an example of almost 800 basis points not doing that. We have an example of getting 30-year mortgages today, even on investment properties below 4%. Today is the day to do the work. The housing market is without question slowing down. Transactions are slowing down. Days on market are getting bigger. Price drops are happening. This is the best time since 2010 to find motivated sellers. If you do the work, you watch your inventory, you document every day, you will find motivated sellers, and you will post in the private Facebook group called One Rental at a Time Works some amazing deals. So again, hopefully this makes sense. It's amazing what you can do with 50 years of information. If you haven't seen the video yet, it was actually posted Saturday at 6 p.m. Take a look. I think it says 50 years of real estate wage data. Lots of exciting stuff there. So have a wonderful Sunday. Take care of yourself. Have fun. Bye.